Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Jacqueline Close-More Live with Jacqueline Close-More. Jacqueline Close-More. Live from Jacqueline.com.au.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Jacqueline Close-More Live
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Jacqueline Close-More and we are live, and I'm coming to you from Melbourne with my happy rabbit in the background here. I've actually been talking to clients this week about if they're going through trauma or they're having a really burnt out, emotional, exhausted time. They can do funny things like having this crazy rabbit, like, look at this. Woo! And woo! There we go. So silver and blue, and then it's fluffy. So it's fluffy on the back, and it's, remember that movie Get Him to the Greek, and they're like patting the furry wall. So sometimes it's just happy. It's a good thing to actually have a furry wall to pat, if you know what I mean. So it can actually be quite helpful, I find, to have that as an availability to you in case you're sort of going through a lot and it's like, I just don't even know what to do. A lot. Sharing a 2-bedroom apartment. Everything's gone south there. She's looking like she's having to move out. She now doesn't have enough money to pay the rent. And her landlady told her to get out by 1st of August. Can't leave until the end of August. Hope that she'll work with me on that month as I'm going to be evicted. I don't want to end up back at my mother's house to live. It would be so depressing living with her as she had a bad energy. Hoping for a miracle. I just want to know if wherever I end up living, I'll be happy and comfortable. Will it be positive for me? Just needs a miracle at the moment. I think there's a lot of people in some really difficult spaces at the moment financially. It's really global. And, some people sort of say, do you think I'm going to win Tatslotto, Jacqueline, or, some kind of prize, or should I go gambling? It's like, don't gamble. If you're going to buy a very small ticket in the lotto, it's not going to cost you money you can't afford. Sure. I mean, do that. But the thing is here, work on practical solutions. So even, and especially as a psychic, I work with practical solutions with people as well. So always sort of look at it that way first. But yes, we can create positive energy here. In this particular case with you, Linda, I do feel there's going to be this meeting halfway, and you're going to be, I feel you're going to find this thing where halfway through August there is a sudden change to this situation where it's like a meeting in the middle. So I do feel you're moving out of that apartment. I do feel that you may be having a room at a home of a female friend or relative. You sort of spoke about not wanting to move in with your mum. I don't feel it's her you're moving in with. I do feel it's a female friend or someone you sort of count on, kind of like a sister. So like a friend, sister from another mother maybe. It's like you're able to work it out that way. There's some kind of leniency given here too with your landlord. Even though they're saying 1st of August, it feels like it might be more around the 14th. And I really feel as if there's going to be more opportunities here, even on the money side of earnings and things like that. There's going to be the ability to turn things around here bit by bit. I know it's certainly been tough and it's been quite scary for you and a lot of people. And I think the thing is, we can always hold out hope. And for some people at the moment, if you're finding that you've just come up against a blank and you sort of can't see where the future's going, it's really healthy and helpful to project where you would like to be. And that might be really important for some people at the moment to do. If you can't see where your future's going, you can't see a future, it's really kind of important at the moment to actually put that ahead of you. Now, in the past, I've never felt the need to say that, but we're not in ordinary times. We're in very different times. So you may need to, Linda, and anyone else going through this situation at the moment, you may need to project into that future, so that it can get there. Now, obviously, if you have never exercised in your life and you want to be an astronaut at the end of the year, that might not be exactly the vision you want to hold on to because it's a little bit out of your reach, right? So do stuff that, like in Linda's case, see yourself in a home. If you want to be in that apartment, see yourself drawing in someone who's going to come and share the rent with you. If you don't feel confident with that, and it does feel with Linda that you'll be a bit wobbly trying to think of that particular outcome, because I don't feel that's going to happen, and that might be why you get the wobbles on that if you are trying to project that. So instead, project yourself being in a safe and happy environment. And it does feel like, as I said, it's going to be a room somewhere in a house at first, very short term, and then you're going to be out somewhere else where you're sharing again, and you're able to afford this. So that's what I'm sort of saying to you, Linda. But anyone who's watching, what I do when I'm doing a reading is I do also look at what other people are going to be able to use out of that kind of guidance. So do look at it that way. If you're out there and you're in a similar situation, whether it's over a house, whether it's over your business, whether it's over your job, other people around you, you can project for yourself more easily than for others. You can hold all positive potential if it's a case of family members, particularly your children. It's very helpful if they're going through crisis to be able to hold all positive space. So you sort of hold all potential of positives coming their way. And then you just allow and take it day by day and keep the expectations fairly relaxed, because that reduces the pressure they might feel, particularly around schoolwork and things like that. I mean, it's been crazy time for kids who are going through the schooling system right now. Imagine trying to grow up in the middle of this. If you're an adult and you're sort of watching this, you sort of have to think about, how this is for these kids. Just remember, they're also very resilient. They're literally born in this time. So this is when they've manifested to be here. So really choose to put that projection forward of how you want it to be, and it's much easier to get. I'm just going to also pull a card for you, Linda, over this next year for you as to outcomes, things to work on, most importantly. Okay, so Six of Swords, necessary change, movement. Six of Swords can mean a couple of different things. It can mean the ending of a relationship. It can mean going overseas. In this case, it's really speaking of the difficulties being behind you and calmer waters ahead. So if you sort of look at this card, a little bit dark, isn't it, hey? But look at that. There's all the waves of turbulence behind the boat. And then ahead of the boat, there's a guardian angel over top of the boat. And over in front of the boat, in where the direction of the boat is going, it's actually quite calm water. So you can see that it looks like it's at night, in a moonlit sky. So it's been very emotional for you, that's for sure. But it's actually going to get better. And the last card on the deck is actually the Ace of Wands. So what we've got going on there is a sense of new creative project, new opportunities. I would suggest also there's some sort of element of new work or new idea for business coming through, or side hustle, as we might call it, that you're going to get here that's going to help you through with this. I also see a male that's going to be helping you financially in the very, very, very short term. So it may be a small amount of money that helps you to get by in the meantime to do this. But this seems to be a younger man. So I'm just not sure if this person's 10 or more years younger than you, but it's like he's just going, oh, look, here's that for you. It's not a great deal. It would be in the hundreds. It's not in the thousands and tens of thousands. There seems to be in the hundreds, but it seems to be helping quite a bit, helping quite significantly. And I feel that's going to help with this situation as well. So I understand it's really tough for you. I don't want to minimize that by any stretch of the imagination. With your mum and saying she's negative, yeah, we can have family members that, leave a lot to be desired there. I think in your mum's case, she does care about you in her own way. And it's just really important to take the positives from that rather than focusing on the negatives, because that can make it easier for you to slipstream through the situation. And you can sort of test your own spiritual awareness by how calm you are on your own, and then how calm you are after a week with your relatives. I challenge anyone with that one. Some relatives we don't ever need to see again, by the way, not speaking specifically about Linda's mum. But I think tolerance is a really important thing at the moment, but it's also what you can tolerate. So I don't feel you're going to have to tolerate that situation, maybe for more than a week. If you do, I don't see that being the outcome here. I don't see you having to spend a great deal of time with her and feeling stuck in the home and I'm never getting out of here. Okay, so I don't see that happening. I do wish you the absolute best with it, and I hope that's helped you today, Linda. You can certainly inbox me again if you need to, and I'm sending you a lot of love, strength and light. And anyone else who's doing it hard at the moment, I'm going to be lighting the candles tonight at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And I'm doing that each Friday. I light the candles, so you can join the healing list. It should be on my page, Jacqueline Closemore Live. If it isn't, I'll find it and repost it for you. So 8 p.m. tonight, Australian Eastern Standard Time, that will be online for you. You can put your name on the list, or anyone you care about that needs healing at the moment. Try and make sure you get the permission first, and that healing will go out to them and you. In the meantime, I'm going to wish you a lot of love and light, and stay tuned to the rest of the evening's channel of A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV. I'll catch you next week.
To A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
And now, Australia's Psychic Cowgirl with Tanya Reid. Live from AustraliaPsychicCowgirl.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/Psychic Radio.
Or one of our websites,
AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv. This is Australia's Psychic Cowgirl on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello, Tanya Reid here, Australia's Psychic Cowgirl, coming at you from Sunday Creep. I feel like I've been saying that now for a while. It's kind of programmed into my brain. So, yeah, quite funny. I did a show earlier on today and I'm like, oh, I've got my radio's voice on. Even my show co-host was like, you sound like you're on the radio. And I'm like, yeah, I constantly think I'm on the radio. So, hey. Welcome, everybody. I hope you're having a great day or evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for connecting and calling in to get readings from many of us here on our shows on A1R. And we really appreciate you. So I just wanted to give you a shout out and say, you know, you guys really rock and we appreciate your support. So thank you. Sharing the shows is awesome. The feedback that you give us is really awesome too. And, you know, sometimes we forget to mention that, but I really wanted to reiterate today or tonight, wherever you are in the world, to say thank you so much for tuning in and listening to us. It really does mean the world to us, and we love your input. So this there's, our shows are about you guys as much as they are about us. So without your input and feedback, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So thank you. And I think sometimes, it's just nice to be able to share that. So I hope everyone's all right. We're going into some massive eclipses this weekend and retrograde. There's so much energetically happening at the moment. So all I can say is keep your cool and, try and stay grounded. Remember to do your meditation, to get outside in nature, to do whatever it is that really lights you up, especially at a time when sometimes we're just feeling a bit out of sorts. I know in our conversation earlier this morning, we were talking about reviewing the past. So for many of us, we're being called on to look at what no longer serves us. Take the time to do that, because it really is important to let go of the old to then bring in the new. So we're starting to come out of this, or be on the other side at least, getting back to some kind of normal. As not totally as we remember it, but certainly, being allowed to have more freedom than earlier on. So it's great just to be able to be mindful of, the fact that whatever inner work you needed to do, or you still might be struggling to do, get help with doing it if you need it. Know that there's people to support you going through any challenges, but also keep the faith that what's happening around you is for a reason. It's time for change. Okay. Thanks for listening. I'm going on to my first caller, Deneen in Raleigh, North Carolina. Deneen, how are you?
Good. I'm good. Thank you.
That's my pleasure. Thanks for calling in. Great to connect with you. I love my USA audience. You rock. So it's cool. Now, let me see. For you, can I ask his mum in spirit? Because I've got a lady stepping up straight away for you. I'm like, oh, who is connecting to you?
My mom.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like she's bang in there. And I do feel like, and quite often, when you come on for a reading, you probably have communicated with her, but it's very much for her. It's like, I'm here, and you'd planned this, so it's like confirmation that there was some kind of confirmation that she was going to come through to you. And I do want to say she's also showing me there's some celebration around that she wants to acknowledge at the moment. So is it someone's birthday like soon that's in the immediate family?
My grandson, mine's coming up.
Yep.
We had a couple of birthdays.
Okay.
My daughter just had a birthday on June 8th. Mine's
cool.
coming up on July the 11th, and I have a grandson. His birthday is July 25th.
Oh, perfect. Because she's like, it's very relevant. She's saying, the birthday was very relevant. I do want to say that you do pick up when she is around. So I feel like you're quite psychic yourself in that you do see the signs, and there's many times that she comes to you. And I do want to say, I want to go to what she's showing me, something around going to a gift shop or some place, and I do feel the way that she's showing me it was somewhere you went with her or you had a conversation with her about, and she's just acknowledging that she's with you when you go there. So it's like it's important that I share that with you.
Okay.
Okay, because like she's like to, just give you that evidence that she's around, and it's like she likes to hang out with you. So I know she did in life as well, but it's almost like she's enjoying it from the spirit world that she still gets to connect with you, and that's the feeling she gives me, is like you still connect with her.
Yeah.
And it's like, and she also wants me to tell you everyone is okay up there. So I feel like there's a few family members with her, and it's like she's looking after everyone. And I feel like that's what she did in life, and she's doing it up there as well.
Okay.
Yeah. And I feel like there's a young, like it's almost like, because she's very nurturing, and there's someone young around as well. So I don't know whether there's someone in the family that passed younger, and she's just sort of like handing me, and I feel like I want to go to a boy that's with her, and it's almost like she just wants to say he's here with me.
I remember I had a cousin who I was real close with. He died when he was 9. He had drowned.
Okay, yep. So it's like she's saying he's up there with her. So, and does that resonate with Mum, that she's the one that looks after everyone, the mother?
My mother, how can I say, she was wonderful. We had made plans, I took care of my kids and I took care of my mom a good 3 years before she passed away in 2016.
Right.
And
Yeah. And she.
when I decided to make the move to North Carolina from Connecticut, because I had my mother cremated, I told her when I left Connecticut I was going to bring her with me.
Awesome. And that's obviously why she's giving that message, that she's around you, she's enjoying things around you, and just sharing that story is wonderful, because it really just shows how much connection you have with her, even in spirit. And I love that. She's a lovely person, and I want to say there's a bit of a sense of humor as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like she likes to have a bit of a laugh, and I do feel like when she's showing me that, and she has a bit of fun sharing things with you, and I feel like she moves things around for you. It's almost like she has a bit of a laugh when you get frustrated. So I don't know whether you put things down and you can't find them, and it's like that's Mum going, "Yay, I'm having a bit of a laugh with you." So she feels, and it always, like, her energy feels like, I'm pretty clever, I can do this in spirit. So it's like she's quite proud of herself, and she does acknowledge that you still connect with her and talk with her.
Yeah.
And especially I feel like when you go outside, there's a connection to Mum. So I'm walking out the back of somewhere, and whether that's a time you talk to her or that's a time when you're not preoccupied, is what I feel like she's showing me. So it's like she really enjoys that time.
Okay.
She's gorgeous soul. And okay, so you've already moved, but there's some other changes happening around you, and I want to go to, it's almost like the family coming together even more is what she's showing me. So have you got, like, with your family, is there a few of them that are moving closer, or there's something, I feel like the family's coming together more so than it has been before?
Yes.
Yeah.
Since I've moved to North Carolina, finally next month in July, I will have all of my grandchildren together at one time.
Woohoo! Yeah, because it's like there's that acknowledgement. You're like, everyone's coming together. It's going to be a big party, and yeah, it's like a real blessing. And she's excited about that, and obviously you're excited about that too. So that's really cool. So there's quite a few grandchildren. Have you got more boys than girls with the grandchildren? I feel like I've got a few more of the male energy than the females.
Yes, I have more boys than girls.
Yeah. I also want to mention, because she's showing me, and this is just her giving this to me, there's two. They're all special, so it's not that she's pointing out two that are very different, and there's different aspects to them that have it's a really different connection, and especially to you is what I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they're sensitive, so it's a little bit like sometimes they're not fully understood by everyone, but you make it right for them, and they come to you and they feed off you, because it's almost like, I feel like what she's showing me is you understand them.
Right.
Yeah, so it's like, and it's really sweet. And with that, I feel like with one of them, there's something that almost hasn't been picked up in the way that they it's like the way they process things is what she's showing me. So I'm not sure whether they struggle a little bit, and it's like they sometimes can't work things out, readily. It's not that they're not smart or anything, but there's sometimes a bit of a gap in the processing, I want to say. There's something around the processing of information. So at times they can be a little bit misunderstood, or they don't fully get information. So it looks like sometimes they can be naughty, or specifically I want to go to one, but they're not actually being naughty. They're just not fully understanding what's expected of them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But it's like they have a special gift within that, so it's like what she's showing me is I'm a sensitive little soul, and I have a real gift, and I feel like they're very empathic, so they're a real sweetheart, but just struggle a little bit at times with processing information.
Okay.
The way she shows that to me, I feel like they're younger, and possibly it hasn't been fully explored yet or fully realised that there's that little bit of a, it's just almost like something that doesn't fully get processed. That's what she's showing me. So I'm like, okay, but it's like you're the key in this. So possibly this is one that's moving closer to you. I feel like so. But it's like Mum's like, you're there to make that happen.
listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for New York City Celebrity Psychic with Perry Lyons. Perry Lyons. Live from PerryLyonsBrilliance.Wixsite.com/Perry Lyons.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, Facebook.com/Psychic Radio.
Or one of our websites,
AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv.
This is New York City Celebrity Psychic
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hi, gentlemen. cherished ducklings. This is actually a bow because occasionally a girl wakes up and she says, today I want to look like Minnie Mouse. So that's what happened. Hi, welcome to New York City celebrity psychic Perry Lyons, which is also me. And I'm so glad you're here. Makes me so happy. Okay. Well, we're going to move right to the tarot psychic weather for the week. Not to be confused with actual weather, because psychic weather doesn't actually damage the crops, and we can't control it with our minds. Oh, wait, maybe we can. What I'm going to do is pick 3 tarot cards that will sort of describe the week coming up, and I'm picking them randomly, rooting around now. I hope you guys had a good week. I saw a really good movie called on it's Prime called Family Games. The terrific director's name is Suzuya Bobo. She's lovely. So it's a really good movie, Family Games. Go watch it. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. Wow. Okay, the 3 cards I picked. And this is kind of tuning into what people used to call, and still do in fact, the zeitgeist, which is a word that means spirit of the time, the spirit of the moment. And so it's kind of an unconsciously agreed upon thing that we all sort of experience the time of our culture at the same time. It's why people tend to, if you look back at old pictures, people are wearing like strange fashions, but at the time they were all wearing it, so it seemed normal. So zeitgeist for our week is the Ace of Cups, which is great. It means that it's the beginning of a time of beginning of a whole cycle. Oh, hi, Annabelle in Syracuse. I'll be ready with you in a minute. Just going to finish this. I love the name Annabelle. Oh, love that name. Okay. This is, I'm going to hold it up the right way or the wrong way. I've been doing this for 2 years. I can never get it right. Okay. The Ace of Cups this week is the beginning of a new cycle. And that cycle is, cups represent emotions. The Ace of Cups is the beginning of a whole new time but it contains a lot of emotional satisfaction. If I get this for a client, it often means that they're about to fall in love, which I'm like, no, don't do that. But it's the beginning of a new time of like emotional freedom, feeling loved and supported by those around you, feeling like you really suddenly know and love yourself. It's a very good card. I love doing that. Okay. The next card is really good. And I think this has to do, it's called the Sun card. When you get the Sun card, the times I've gotten this in my life have always been times when, I'm sorry, I'm being outwitted by a colored piece of cardboard here. There. Anyway, the times I've gotten the Sun card have always been the times that I was happier than I expected to be by any reason. Like, it's a time when it's not actually representing a naked baby and a horse coming through your living room, although if that happens, please call me. I'll give you the number of a good therapist. But the Sun card represents a time when we're emerging into the sunshine, which is literally what's kind of happening now. And we're emerging into a new time in our lives and a new time in our society when things are getting, I mean, it's a little, we've got some birth pains now, but things are about to get better than they've been for a long time. And we're, in our personal lives, this week should see a lot of opening up, a lot of great, again, beginnings, new beginnings, unless that's redundant. Are there old beginnings? Okay. This is a great card. And if you find yourself feeling like a childlike sense of wonder and happiness this week, that's this card. And what's the last card? Oh, wow. I really like that. The Chariot card. And honestly, this came up with the Page of Swords. I grabbed them both at the same time. Page of Swords is kind of like the Zoom card. It's a card of, okay, I'm going to get this right. There you go. It's a card of electronic messages. Of messages like, it's a card of getting stuff done through unseen means. I'm trying to say the internet, but it's been kind of a crazy day, so I'm not actually saying the internet. And this is a card. The Chariot card is a time of triumph. So if you have been like doing remote meetings, you might find that you're going to continue to do that, and that you also might have found during the last couple of weeks or months that you have a talent that's really brought out in like remote meetings, that you have a talent for communication, that you find that you're expressing your ideas in a clearer way than you ever have before. The Page of Swords is about like communication, emails, Zoom meetings, and the Chariot card is a card of victory. So looks like a good week. Okay, we've got Annabelle. Thank you so much for being here, Annabelle. How can I help you today?
Honestly, I like just want a reading about anything, about maybe my life, my future.
The good stuff, right? I got you. Ready, honey?
Exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
I like to connect with people by asking what their birthday is. You don't have to tell me the year. So just tell me your birthday.
June 3rd.
June what? It beeped
3rd.
when you said the June 3rd. Oh, you little Gemini, you. Well,
Yep.
I like to charge my Gemini clients twice as much because there's 2 people I'm reading for. That's also a very good week of Gemini. That's the Gemini. It's the nice Gemini, the Gemini who will dazzle you with her charm and run off with your boyfriend and your jewelry. The Libra Gemini is the one who comes in and just kind of makes everybody feel better. You're a good peacemaker. You're good at making things pretty. And tell me your first name, my love. So it was Annabelle. Sorry, I knew that. Hold on one second.
Annabelle. Yep.
Yeah, got it. Oh, you're very original. Do you have a little ADHD, which I actually consider a gift? Because your mind just is always working, and you're thinking really unusual. You have the capacity to think about like a lot of different things. You know, most people just think about like 1 or 2 things. You see the world as this sort of wondrous Disneyland of adventures and possibilities. You have lovely energy. I'm going to pick some cards for you, which I don't usually do. Knight of Swords. King of Cups.
Thank you.
You're welcome, and you know it's true too. Hold on one second. I've got a lot of cards here. I got very, very ambitious all of a sudden. Okay. Priestess. You know, you have a certain amount of sort of ooh, cool. You have a certain amount of psychic ability or intuitive ability. Have you noticed that?
Swear to God, I do think I'm psychic.
Yeah. I don't think it's weird. I think everybody.
And I can like connect with our saints.
You connect what? Say it again.
I feel like when I talk to people, like they're gonna say I like can. You probably think I'm crazy, but I feel it.
Did you say you connect to their saints earlier? Was that what you said? Or did I just hear that? You totally connect with people. And if you didn't say I connect with their saints, then that's actually what you're doing. You do have an ability to kind of jump into the other person's space in a very good way, in a non-intrusive way, right? But you have the ability to kind of jump into other people and feel and do a kind of what I call soul listening when you choose to. But it's a really interesting talent. And next week I'll be talking about, I'm going to be teaching a class in this. And I've got a new little book I'm going to be promoting about how to get in touch with this. But for you, you know, if you can find an app, like a meditation app, there are a couple of good ones. 10% is nice. Calm is nice. And just do a meditation in the morning. Use an app. It's much easier. That will get you in touch with your ability a lot faster than almost anything else. However, another thing you can do, and then we'll get to your reading, is just get a little notebook. And when you have like a little premonition or a little thought about somebody, or just write it down and don't censor yourself, even if it seems stupid. Even if you see your friend like Jane and she's got a bowl of petunias in her head, just write that down, because she might call you later and say, probably not that I've got a bowl of petunias in my head, but it will make sense later on. Interesting thing about you too is you're both visual, right-brained, because we have a right and left brain. So the right brain is kind of creative and visual, abstract and psychic. The left brain is good at organizing, getting stuff done, and thinking about things. You have both of those. That's really interesting. I don't get to see that very often. One of the cards that came up for you is the High Priestess upside down. Says, yes, you are psychic. You have abilities. It wants you to turn this card right side up and use them. Don't be afraid of them, because it's a beautiful part of you. Now, here's what I see coming up for you. The first card that came up is the Knight of Swords. And that is often, the Knight is men, usually under 40. The swords can be a man or a woman or a llama. I'm not going to make any assumptions. But I think it's a man for you. He's a Libra, an Aquarius, or a Gemini. And he kind of is coming in like a knight in shining armor who wants to save you. But you're very independent, which is great. However, is there somebody around you who sort of wants to be with you, but you're like, I can take care of myself? I'm going out on a limb here. Is this making any sense to you?
Absolutely. Sounds
Really?
crazy, but yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's interesting is he wants to be the King of Cups for you, but it's upside down. So what he wants to be is like the good boyfriend, husband, father card. However, he's a little, God bless him, he's a little dopey. And I mean that in the sweetest way, but sometimes, you know that book, The 5 Love Languages? It's a great book. It says that people speak different languages of love. So I like compliments. I give compliments when I love somebody and I love to, but like my boyfriend loves to do things. And I had to sort of train him with a whip and a chair to give me compliments. And I had to learn that his love language is doing stuff. So if I want to show him how much I care about him, I do stuff because that's his language. Now, reason I'm saying this is this person has a different love language than you. And I think it's a little frustrating because I think you want him to do this, this, and this, but that's not how he expresses his feelings. So if you're open to him just expressing his affection and honestly love for you in a way that's a little different than your expectations, is this making sense to you? Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, it definitely makes sense.
Yay. Because he's a good guy. He is. But I think it's a little frustrating for you right now because I think girls, women, no matter how, I'm a feminist, but I want somebody to, bring me roses and buy me little gifts with lots of diamonds in them. I don't actually expect that, but there's a little girl part of me that kind of does. So if he's not doing that, look at how he is showing you he cares. Does he show up? Does he call? Does he see how you're doing? Does he share ideas with you? So that's that. Now, in other aspects of your life, you have a small nuclear family, but a large extended family. Is that right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Good. There are going to be some secrets coming out in your family. It's interesting. I'm not going to say everybody's family has secrets. Heavens to Betsy. I didn't find out that one of my brothers was actually a large marmoset until a couple of years ago. Kidding, but it looks like in your family there's going to be some changes for the better. you mind if I ask? I'm getting 2 kids around you, but I'm not sure if you already have them or if they're coming up for you. Sorry, been a long day.
I don't have any kids, and I hope they're not coming up.
Do you have nieces or nephews? I got kids around you, but they didn't seem
Yeah,
like
I
they were
do.
yours right now. Okay. So there it looks like there
I have
are
2
either,
godchildren.
that's it. Okay. 2 girls or boy and a girl? Don't say 2 boys in room.
2 boys.
Great, thank you. Okay, well, my godchildren radar is a little off, but it's interesting. You're going to be seeing a lot of them sort of unexpectedly soon. And these kids, the godmother role from somebody who's 10 godchildren, these kids really look up to you, and they see you as this kind of independent, cool, like fashionable person. And I would sort of look at that, because I think you're having a little low self-esteem moment, which all fantastic women do occasionally. It looks like you're going to be fighting for a position at your job, but you're going to win. Somebody else is trying to elbow their way in. And then around September, the Fool card comes up, which does not mean you're a fool, quite the opposite. You're going to be either going to get a promotion and a new title and work with other people, or you're going to get a different and new job. It's one of the two. The Fool was the beginning of a whole new journey in your life. It's a step up, and you might be taking on something professionally, or if you don't have a job, this might be when a new one shows up. You might be taking on something professionally that is a little scary, but you're going to find out that you can do it, and boy, can you do it. So you've got a good year coming up. It also feels like you might actually get engaged this year. This card, when it shows up, is surefire. It's 2 people standing under what the Jewish culture calls a chuppah, which is a wedding like canopy. So that might be in your future. Yeah, that's about, what else am I getting? Yeah, so explore your sort of psychic and intuitive side. The last thing I'm going to say is this is your advice card, and you can be really outgoing and charming and creative. And also on this card, if you see the little black cat at her feet, that means she's psychic. So don't be afraid to be your sort of most outgoing, shiny self, and to explore sort of your psychic abilities, because those will really serve you in your job, your love life, and the rest of it. Sound good?
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Come back soon. Tell your friends. Okay. Take care, my dear. Thank you.
I have a friend right here. Thank you.
All right. Hi, friend. Thank you. Okay. Who's up next? Wait, by the way, oh, Amanda. I love that name. Sister-in-law, Amanda. Hi, Amanda. How are you today?
Hi, how are you?
Oh, you got a beautiful, like, contralto voice. Nice. I'm well. How are you?
Good.
You have a slightly pressing issue. I just want to quickly ask you when your birthday is, if I can do that, just because that helps me tune into you fast.
It's December 19th, 82.
Good day. Oh, you're just a baby. I have shoes older than you. Okay. You have a question that you might be a little like, should I ask this? Go ahead, ask it. What's your question, my love?
I really don't know. I'm just like questioning about like maybe relationship, financial wise.
Yeah, it's been a tough couple months for you. It feels like you felt like a little isolated. I mean, even if you weren't, you felt that way. Financially,
Yeah.
There's an opportunity. Yeah. Well, you're going through a lot of growth. Let's see what the cards say about Amanda. Let's do 3 cards for you. Tell us especially about Amanda's. Okay. Okay, this goes along with what I got when I was tuning in on you. There are a couple of opportunities financially that you might not be seeing, or if you do see them, you might be like, I'll do that tomorrow, which would make you exactly like everybody else in the world. But there are more opportunities for making money around you than you think. When you get the 5-cup card, the 5 of Cups is somebody, if you notice, I'm sorry, if I hold this right, if you notice, he is this guy who's wearing this kind of depressing outfit. He's looking at 3 spilled cups, but he's got 2 full cups behind him. So this is saying there are opportunities around you that you may not be seeing because I'm not sure if you're taking your talents and your wonderfulness seriously enough. It's a little hard, you know. Go ahead. There's also do you mind if I ask what state you live in?
Ohio.
Okay. If you go to the Ohio .gov website, the Office of Unclaimed Property, I think that there is some money you don't know about there. That's what my guides just said. I'm going to say, if you want to get in touch with me, I'm Perry Lyons, P-E-R-I, like in Periwinkle, Lyons, L-Y-O-N-S, on Facebook. If you get in touch with me, I'll send you the link for that. But I think that there are some unclaimed funds waiting for you. I got $10,000 through an unclaimed funds thing about 7 years ago. So, and it's the same, I'm getting the same kind of vibe for you. There's also a side hustle that you could do because you have a talent. There's something that you're so good at and just do so naturally that you sort of take it for granted. You don't think of it as special. Do you have like a hobby, or what's something that you like to do that you wouldn't think you could make money at?
I have no idea. Cleaning?
Like,
That's what I used to do, was cleaning.
I think this is a little easier than that. So I'm going to tell you a few more things. After we hang up, I'd like you to just think back. It's like, are you a really good baker? Do you make terrific candy? Are you, think about stuff that you do naturally for your kids and the people around you. And understand, you also have a beautiful singing voice. You can do voiceovers. The Knight of Pentacles. Seems like there is a young man. Do you have a son, a grown son, who is a Capricorn, Taurus, or a Virgo?
Do I?
First of all, do you have a grown son?
Do I have a son?
Do you have a son?
No, I have 4 daughters.
Oh, okay. There's a young man around in your vicinity. Sorry about that. It's just when I saw the Knight of Pentacles. There's a young man, he's under like 35, the Knight of Pentacles. Pentacles signify money. And this means to me that there's somebody around you who there's an opportunity that can come through him. How old is your oldest daughter? 19?
My oldest is 19.
Yeah. Yeah, my good. Can we get a little applause for that? Yeah, your girls are great too. And by the way, I know you worry about them, but they're all going to be fine. They really are. They're smart, and it's funny. The 2 of them are so different that they might as well be from different planets. But they're smart, and you've done a really good job. Maybe this is the guy your oldest daughter is seeing right now, but there's a younger man around you who there's an opportunity coming through him. And it's more interesting than cleaning, although I really respect cleaning. And if you want to come to Maryland, help me with this place, which I'd be very grateful. The last card I got for you, Amanda, is, oh, that's interesting. I got the engagement card again. I don't know if one of your girls is going to get engaged or if it's interesting. This says to me that the opportunity I'm looking at for you might have something to do with weddings or doing hair and makeup for weddings, doing catering for weddings. There's some opportunity there. I don't know if there's a wedding center where you live. Now, wow, you've had a you've overcome more obstacles in the last 7 years than most people have overcome in like 90. So you're really strong. You've done most of it alone. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So understand that you have done, like, you performed a huge, like, miracle feat, getting those girls brought up and clothed and fed and to be really good people. If you can do that, you can do anything. And there's a lot of opportunity coming up for you at end of July, early August. And if you want to know more, Perry Lyons on Facebook, get in touch with me. I'll give you a free 15-minute reading and hook you up with some, I'll help you out as much as I can, because you have done so much for other people that it would be fun to give back to you. Are you down with that?
Yeah.
Get in touch with me. Okay. Because you deserve some support. Yes. And a vacation. All right, my love. Thank you so much for calling in. And Amanda, I have so much admiration for you and every other single mom out there. Man. And bless you. Bless your paws and whiskers, as a friend used to say. And have a great week. And it just gets better, everyone. It just gets better. Come back next week. I'm Perry Lyons, New York City celebrity psychic on Moonstruck TV, A1OR Radio. And thank you so much for gracing my life with your presence. See you soon. See you next week.
Listening to A1. R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV and Lightning Television. Welcome.
Time for a gateway to the spirit world with Gail Moffat. Live from GailMoffat.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv.
This is a gateway to the spirit world
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello and welcome to A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV. My name is Gail Moffat and I'm looking forward to having a wonderful, wonderful show with you. So a bit later on, we're going to have a couple of callers come in. So we're going to do some lovely private readings and so who knows, that could be you. Anyway, before we go to our readers, I thought that I would talk a little bit about being a healer, because not only am I a psychic and a medium, I am a healer, and what that means is I'm able to place my hands on people and bring about healing. And in order to do that, there's a lot of sort of like prerequisites that sort of take place. And first of all, I have to sort of, get into that little sort of, space where I call it my light, lucky space, where I'm connecting to spirit. And even when I'm, doing these shows, I'll be in that space, but in a sort of slightly different way. But nevertheless, whenever you're connecting to spirit, you need to be connected. And people who, are in the know often refer to it as being in the power. So that's a technical term, but for those people who who are not in the know. But anyway, once you're in the power, what happens is that, you know, for a long time, I had a guide called Saint Sebastian, and he would step forward and do the healing. And he's an incredibly knowledgeable guide, and he would talk about people's health and difficulties that they were having with their health. And I used to sort of slightly squirm as he was doing this, because I used to think, oh, could I do this? You know, what, you know, could somebody sue me, or, you know, but he would just sort of continue on and give this information. And he kept on telling me that I needed to trust him. So I did. And then one day, something remarkable happened. Is God stepped forward and told me that he would now do the healing through me. And so I thought what would be really nice is that if anyone is listening that has some difficulties with their health and needs some help and support in any way, then what we can do is we can, if you somehow get your name to me, or get it through the show, and that can be passed on to me, and then I will put you on my healing list. And so whenever I get do my healing, which I do every day, your name will be on the healing list, and hopefully God will be attending to you. One thing that he does say is we all have a life path, and sometimes people come to the earth specifically to understand and learn about health issues, and he would never want to interfere with a soul's wishes. But when it's a situation where perhaps, you know, something went wrong in an operating theatre, or you took the wrong medicine, or your life path slightly changed, he is really keen to bring about healing. So food for thought. Healing is possible, and one thing that I'm always taught is that, you know, I can never promise anything that we can be healed, and so it's something that, you know, it's sort of, in a way, it's a bit experimental, and it's whether it's the wish of God as to whether it's successful. Anyway, just remember, if you need to get, I'm on Facebook and Instagram. My name's Gail Moffat. So if you do need to get your name to me, find me. Anyway, I believe we have some callers, and Jennifer in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, is waiting. Are you there, Jennifer?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, hello, and how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad. It's been fantastic weather in England at the moment, so we're all enjoying that. So anyway, I am a medium, and I'm also a psychic. Now, what that means is I can connect to a loved one if that is your desire, or I can that's somebody who's in spirit that's passed, and communicate with them. Or I can go to my guides and give you guidance in any aspects of your life. Is there any particular way that you would like me to work?
Guidance, please.
And whereabouts would you like me to focus?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Where would you like me to focus?
Okay.
Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And so where would you like me to focus with your guidance? Is there any particular, like a, job or relationship? Is there a particular, we only have a short space of time.
I need a little bit of both. I think everyone does a little bit of both.
Right. So okay. So what I'll do is I'll see what comes up and see what happens, and I'm sure I can rely on my guides to bring through exactly what is needed. So my guide Arthur is standing by. He's one of my guides, and he's standing by the side of me, and he is telling me that you you have found yourself where you're at in your life is not where he's saying to me that you never planned to be in this position that you're in now, and it's a set of circumstances that that led you to this position where you're in, and it's a position that you're. It's almost like, well, I'll have to sort of deal with it, but it's not entirely where you would want to be or in your life. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
And he's saying that you're sort of almost in a situation where you're thinking, well, shall I just sort of just get on with it and stay where I am and deal with where I'm at, or shall I make some changes? And those decisions, I believe, haven't been made by you yet, and you're still in this sort of quandary and a dilemma as to which way do you walk, which path do you take, which way, what do you do in your life? And does that make sense to you?
No, that does. I feel like I'm stuck at a crossroad.
Yes. And he's saying to me that what happens in the spirit world, he's saying to me, is that they you have a number of people that are you've got some people that are connected to you in spirit that are drawing close to you at this time, because there is a need to make a radical difference in your life. And I feel that need comes from spirit more, whereas you're sort of thinking, oh, which way should I go? What should I do? But I feel like spirit are trying to steer you in a particular sort of direction. And I feel like what I'm being told is that you're quite a bright person. You're quite intelligent, and you're somebody that is thinks things through very carefully, and always likes to put the best foot forward. And when whatever you grab or hold on to, or whatever you do, you try to do things to the best of your ability. And I feel also that, because I feel that you did very well academically, or to whatever level you got to. I feel that you got good grades. Would that make sense to you?
Yes, I've always done very well academically, and done well in all my studies.
I was shown an A+ for you, and I'm being told that I feel that what's required of you for you see, we all have a life path, and our life path is so important to us, because that's why we come to learn our lessons. That's why we're here. But I feel that we have that there is a particular life path that's going to require for you to make some radical changes. And these radical changes, I'm being drawn to the idea of a career, and I feel like you're going to sort of change your job in some respect. But what you're going to gain from this new job and gain in knowledge is going to stand you in good stead for your next position after that. Because I feel like you're going to be doing something that, and I don't feel like that's in the next the job that you're going to go to. I feel like it's the one after. I feel that you're going to be doing something that is going to be, I feel like it's going to make a difference to people. And it's important that you're well equipped and you have all the knowledge and you have all the skills that brings you to this point. Because I feel very strongly you've got an important job to do, and that important job is going to change the way people think, or change the minds of people, or change the way people are in their lives. I just feel like there's you will be, and I feel like a cog in the wheel of making a difference for people's lives and changing the way they live their lives. And I feel that there's no coincidence in sort of why you have been successful academically, because you needed these skills to get to this point. And I'm being told that this is something that's going to be like given to you, that is this not the next job, but the job after. I feel that this is important for you, because you agreed to do this before you came to the earth plane, and you agreed for to be given these skills that I feel I feel like you're going to be, when you reach this position, you're going to be highly trained, and your ability will be quite sort of excellent. Does any of that make sense to you?
Somewhat. It's been what I've been thinking about, considering going back to school to get the training to do that career change.
Right. Because I know that everything that you do up to that next job is going to give you skills, and that's something that they sort of gave to me, like that it's going to be skills that you're going to acquire. It's like everything is getting you to this point. And I just get that feeling that job is going to be very important. I also feel that you have a grandmother that is in spirit, and I feel that it's on your father's side of the family. And I feel with this grandmother that she is guiding and helping you along this path. Have you ever been interested in
Did you say on my dad's side or my mom's side?
I felt like it was on your dad's side.
That makes sense.
And do you are you interested in anything medical, or research, or something of that nature?
My whole life has been surrounded by medical. My grandma was a nurse.
Right. Okay. Because I feel that where you're going to be is, I feel that you're going to be doing some sort of research that is going to bring you an accolade in your life, and that research is where you're going to be making a difference. And I feel like it's I don't know whether the research is it just felt a little bit more medical, and I don't know in what capacity, but I just felt that it was more medical than anything else. And I just know that, and I also know that your grandmother is walking along this path with you and making sure that everything is going to be okay. I hope that helps. Sadly, we always run out of time. It's never long enough for a reading, and so does that make sense to you in any shape or form?
It does a bit, yes. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for ringing in, and best of luck to you, because I think you're going to be quite successful in life. So thank you. Right, so we have another caller, and that is Mackenzie in Traverse City, Michigan. Hello, Mackenzie, are you there?
Hi, yes, I am.
Hello, and I am. My name's Gail Moffat, and I have. I'm able to connect to loved ones in the spirit world, but I'm also able to go to my guides and seek guidance. Is there a particular way, or where would you like me to focus for your reading?
With the spirit world.
Okay, and is there somebody?
World.
Right, and is there somebody in particular that you'd like me to connect to? I feel like there's a male.
Yeah.
A male has just come straight forward. This is your dad you want, is it?
What was that?
Did you say you wanted your dad?
No, it was my best friend Deanne.
Deanne. And is he male, Deanne?
Yes, he is.
Because I've got a young man standing in front of me, and he was here before you even said Deanne, and he, oh bless him, he's showing me tears rolling down his eyes, and he says, and he's saying to me that he's so sorry that and he's just like wanting to apologize over and over and over again, because he feels that he's let you down, and he says if he hadn't have passed, he's saying to me that things would have been different from you, because he's making me feel that his passing caused a knock-on effect in your life, that it had an impact on your life that you couldn't have foreseen in any shape or form. Would that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, and he's just full of emotion, because he's saying to me, I never ever expected to, it was never ever my, like he's saying to me, I love you so much that I would never ever dream of hurting you in any way. But he was the person that was helping you get over a difficult situation in your life. And he was somebody that was so caring and so loving to you. And his passing meant that you were unable to have this support and this caring that you needed. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He's saying to me, pardon?
I said it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I know. I've been doing this for years, and even, every time I get something, I just think, oh, isn't that unbelievable? It is. And in a way, it's like a miracle, isn't it? That we can, connect to people that have passed. And so let me get back to him. We don't want to talk amongst ourselves, do we? I like talking, as you can probably gather. But let's get back to Mackenzie, because he's got his little window of opportunity. And he's saying to me that he's made a decision, and he feels that this is an important decision. And did he ever sort of you described him as a friend, but was there any sort of romantic inclination with him?
Kind of.
Yeah, I thought there was. I just, because he's saying to me that he would have liked to have eventually married you and be with you on and he's saying that his love for you is so strong that he has, and this is where he's made the decision. He's made a decision that he is going to guide and help you in your life. He's going to be with you to finish off the job that he promised to do. In other words, finish off the job where he said that he would help and support you over this difficult situation. And he's going to come forward and just and help you and guide you in your life, because he feels that you're still not out of the woods. You're still not clear of all the things that you need to be clear of. And he wants to, he says that he says he's telling me that you still need his help get through this difficult time. He's drawing my attention to I feel like it could be have you got some parents that haven't been so easy in your life?
That haven't been so easy?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
Am I using the right terminology? Sometimes things don't quite translate because I'm from England. So when I say so easy,
yeah.
Oh, you okay? You understand? And because he's saying to me that because I feel like I'm drawn to a male, and I feel that this could be your father, and he's saying to me that he's making me feel that your upbringing was quite tough, and he makes me feel that he needed to support and shield you and protect you from sometimes the way your family would be. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, yes, it does.
And he was such a protector, such a gorgeous man, and he's got the most beautiful smile and like twinkly eyes. He could, when he would walk in the room, and that big, he'd always have that big beaming smile. And
he did.
And I feel like you had a little bit of a penchant for a little bit of chocolate. And he's making me feel like he wants to give you chocolate, or wants to. I feel like he would quite often buy you little presents, but they would just be little things, not big things, not expensive things, just little sweet little things. And I feel that he would quite often buy you little bits of. I feel like it's food orientated, like a little bit of chocolate or some what you would call cookies or things like that. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, kind of. It reminds me of his mom. His mom always is giving me chocolate.
Oh.
But if he was still here, I'm sure he would be doing the same thing.
Yeah, he would. It's like he knows the way to your heart.
Yeah.
And he's saying to me that he would have been happy. Did he still live at home with his mum?
He did, yes.
Because I feel that he would have been happy for you to go and live there with them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I've been wanting to.
And he's saying to me that he would have been over the moon if you could have come in and sort of moved in with them, because he feels that way you could be safe, you could be protected, and he could look after you. He just makes me feel that his complete and utter role in life is about looking after you and protecting you. What an absolute gorgeous man this man is. And where you are lucky is that he's going to be your guide in your life, and you're going to have him there for the rest of your life, I believe. He's going to be supporting you. Isn't that fantastic news?
Yes, it is. That made my day for sure.
Oh. And just before I go, have you just received a certificate for something? Or is this a memory that he's giving to me? And I feel like I want to go back to sort of school or something. Yeah, like you've passed something, like you've gained an award or a certificate, or
someone had me, or I was supposed to stay sober for so many days, and I did that, and I got an incentive from actually his mom.
Wow. Because I feel like you want to punch the air because you succeeded. And I'm just getting that real strong sort of feeling of him being so proud of you. And he's just keeps on saying to me, keep up the good work.
listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Insights into Consciousness with Anna Olson. Live from AnnaOlsonIntuitive.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv.
This is Insights into Consciousness
On A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hi, good evening. I'm Anna Olson here on A1R Radio with my show Insights into Consciousness. I'm here every Thursday, 6:30 Pacific Standard Time, which is also 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. I'm very excited today because I have somebody that I'm going to be able to do a reading on the air, and it's great to get a volunteer because I just love doing free readings for people if they want them. And my guest tonight is Ariel Peraza. How are you doing, Ariel?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm really happy to be here. I feel honored to have been chosen.
Well, thank you. I'm just so happy that you're here. And like a little backstory about us, we met at Tamed Wild, right? When we were doing like a moon party. Yeah. And I remember doing my first reading on you, and I think it was at the Halcyon store, and we just kind of did a little bit of like a small reading, and then ever since then we've done little readings here and there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so then you
when I mediumship help.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. And then, it's been nice to just basically kind of follow along, on your timeline and just help you out with whatever you need. And I know today that you were wanting to go over some career and basically financial, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Purpose.
So go ahead.
Like just what I should be doing on a day-to-day basis, all that.
Okay, great. So what you can do, maybe baby steps on a daily basis to get to whatever goal. And we want to kind of also look at the goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So what I can do is start out with the question. So the question would be, what would be the best path to reach the career that would be best for you? Do you want to try that one? You can start out that way.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. So, the first thing that I'm getting for you is a card. It's a number 7, and it's called Nourishment. The Nourishment card is really just about filling yourself up and doing things that will nourish whatever it is that you want to go into, whatever career it is that you want to just really start heading towards and working towards. And I'm seeing, also your health. So are you interested in things like health or herbs or things like that, or beauty?
Definitely. Like I love all of that. But I kind of knew that was going to come up. I feel like something like I need to be more conscious of what I'm eating. And just, I don't know. But yeah, I love vegetables and